Good morning. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn number 298 in your gray hymnal, Wake Now My Senses. We'll be singing verses 1, 3, and 5. Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow, giving, receiving, as love shows us how. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take as your neighbor, both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now, my vision of ministry clear. Brighten my pathway with radiance here. Mingle my calling with all who will share. Work toward a planet transformed by our care. Please be seated.
Good morning and welcome to this Sunday service of the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship located in Durham, North Carolina. I'm the Reverend Jim Lewis, and whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, gender identity, whomever you love, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we welcome you. If you're visiting with us today for the first, or maybe even the second time, I invite you to rise in body or spirit, or please introduce yourself in the chat box if you're watching the live stream, so that we can give you an ERUUF welcome. Anybody here, first or second time? New time? Yeah. Hello. Welcome to you. Thank you for choosing to spend your Sunday morning with us. If you have children or youth with you, they are invited to attend our religious exploration classes when the children are sung out after the time for all ages. And we also invite adults to the Inquirer's class for visitors and newcomers. And that happens right after service over in the Care Building next door. It also happens on Zoom, especially for those of you online. And it happens directly after the service again. It just provides us an opportunity to get to know you better and for you to get to know us better. I get to be there with you today, actually, so I always look forward to being part of the Inquirer's class. Our service today is being led by the ERUUF CUUPS group, and CUUPS stands for the Covenant of UU Pagans. Today's special music is being offered by Jewel Song. And now would be a good time to turn off any devices you might have on your person, just so that they, don't decide it's time to add extra music to the service. So noting that today's service is being held by our CUUPS group, one group that holds honoring the earth as part of their spiritual grounding, we acknowledge the history of these grounds and those who have come here before us. The Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship is located on the traditional territories of several indigenous nations, including the Eno, the Shakori, the Sissipaha, the Saponi, and the Lumbee. The Eno River and our fellowship bear the name of the Eno people, or Enoke, also called Wyanoke, who were displaced from their lands by European settler colonizers during the 17th century. The Eno people became absorbed into the Iswa, or the Catawba, and Saponi nations. Friends, let us acknowledge that we walk upon the traditional territories of the Eno, the Shikori, the Sissipaha, the Saponi, and Lumbee, the original nations of this land, who continue to cry out for justice and self-determination. We are blessed with the space and opportunity to strive to live out our common principles, to bring justice, equity, and compassion into our daily lives, to resist all that threatens the earth and her people, and to live out our dream of a world community of peace, liberty, and justice for all. Let these thoughts carry us forth as we journey and worship together today. Let us take a moment to center ourselves and let our service begin.
Say yes now, everything real greets you. Say yes now, everything real greets you. Say yes
Synergy,
now,
yes, yes,
everything
synergy,
real greets
synergy,
you.
yes, yes, synergy,
Say yes
everything
now,
real,
everything
greets
synergy
you,
greets
everything
you.
real, yes,
Greets
synergy,
you,
everything real,
everything
you, everything
synergy,
everything synergy, yes, say yes, do, say yes, do, say yes to the present moment, say yes to whatever's there, say yes to the world before you, say yes to the whole affair, say yes to your deepest feelings, say yes, I can let them go, say yes to amazing healings, say yes to the ebb and flow, say yes now, everything real greets you. Say yes now, everything real greets you.
Say yes
Synergy,
now,
yes, greets you. Synergy, yes, greets you. Synergy, yes, synergy, yes, say yes, do, say yes, do, say yes to the laughter spilling, say yes to the tears as well, say yes when you visit heaven, say yes when you walk through hell, say yes to the pain and suffering, say yes, I can ease that some, say yes to your fear of dying, say yes, I can let it come, say yes now, everything real greets you. Say yes now, everything real greets you.
Say yes
Synergy, yes, greets you. Synergy, yes, greets you. Synergy, yes, greets you. Synergy, yes, greets you. Say yes, do, say yes, do, say yes to the joy within you. Say yes, I can let it shine. Say yes to your truth and wisdom. Say yes to the love divine. Say yes to whatever's present. Say yes to the mystery. Say yes to life. Say yes to love. Say yes, it will set you free. Say yes.
Hello, I'm Susan Bayless, and in our CUUPS gatherings, we always start with calling in the energies of the four cardinal directions as a way of creating sacred space. Each direction is aligned with an element and has different qualities, and this casts a circle around us, and we will thank the directions at the end to open our circle. We also call the direction of center last, and at that time we will be lighting our chalice. We often call on goddesses and gods from many parts of the world for our inspiration. And we are now right at the peak of the full moon. It was 11:43 last night. So I decided to invite lunar deities today. We invite you to stand as you are able and face each direction as we call it. I also invite you to repeat the welcome after the direction caller says, like, welcome east or welcome whatever direction. Everybody say, welcome east. Thank you. So we will start with facing east. Spirits of the east, of air, of dawn, and new beginnings, we invite you to join us. We look eastward to welcome Greek moon goddess Luna, Roman moon goddess Diana. Welcome east.
Welcome east. Please face south. Spirits of the south, of fire, of the noonday sun, we invite you to join us. We face south to the goddess Ixchel, the Mayan goddess of the moon, Lady Rainbow. Welcome south.
Welcome south.
Please face west. Spirits of the west, of water, of the setting sun, we invite you to join us. We look westward to Hawaii to invite the moon goddess Hina. Welcome west.
Welcome west.
Please face north. Spirits of the north, of earth and of night, we invite you to join us. We invite the Norse god, Mani, brother to the sun goddess Sol, and recognize Gaia, the earth we cherish and thank for our lives. Welcome north.
Welcome earth.
Spirits of the center, of inner light, of intuition, we invite you to join us. We open our hearts to the spirit of joy and delight. As we light our chalice, I will read a few wise words written by Maya Angelou. We need joy as we need air. We need love as we need water. We need each other as we need the earth we share. Welcome, center.
Welcome center.
Please be.
Love those invocations to the moon deities whose names we often don't hear. The First Nations of Turtle Island also had names for the full moon. The last full moon of spring last night at 11:43 p.m. Eastern Time was called Strawberry Moon by the Anishinaabe. To the northern Arapaho, she is moon when the hot weather begins. The eastern Cherokee know her as Green Corn Moon. To the eastern Comanche, she is Full Leaf Moon. The Muskogee Creek call her the Blackberry Moon. And the Natchez know her as Watermelon Moon. For our theme today, Choosing Delight, we'll offer reflections on a few of the many delights always available in our precious human experience. This poem, The Garden of Delight, is by Lucille Clifton. For some it is stone, bare, smooth as a buttock, rounding into the crevasse of the world. For some it is extravagant water, mouths wide, washing together forever. For some, it is fire. For some, air. And for some, certain only of the syllables, it is the element they search for their entire lives. Eden. For them, it is a test.
Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn number 51 in the gray hymnal, Lady of the Season's Laughter. Lady of the season's laughter, in the summer's month be near, when the winter follows after, teach our spirits not to fear. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning year. Sister of the evening starlight, in the falling shadows stay, here among us till the far light of tomorrow's dawning ray. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning day. Mother of the generations, in whose love life is worth, everlasting celebrations, bring our labors safe to birth. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning earth. Goddess of all time's progression, stand with us when we engage, hands and hearts to end oppression, writing history's fairer page. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning age. Please turn and greet your neighbor.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Now it's time. Story time. I invite the children and anyone young at heart who cares to join us to come on down for our story time. Our story for all ages. Hi. Come on, come close enough so you can see the pictures. I've got a fun story today and a little game we can play while we're telling the story. Every time you hear in this story, lift your arms, you know what to do?
Lift your arms?
Yeah. And if you want to, you can also, when they say close your eyes, when they say take a breath. Okay.
But it's optional, right?
It is. Exactly. So this is the year we learned to fly. Would you like to learn to fly? No? Oh, okay. That was the year we learned to fly. That was the spring the rain seemed like it would never stop, and the thunder boomed so hard we weren't allowed to go outside. Use those beautiful, brilliant minds of yours, my grandmother said. Lift up your arms, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and believe in a thing. Somebody somewhere at some point was just as bored as you are now. And you can take your hands down, too. So my brother and I closed our eyes, and for a few minutes that first day, we weren't in our apartment anymore. We were flying over the city we'd known our whole lives, but it was different, exploding with every kind of flower we ever imagined growing. That was the summer we learned to fly, when my brother and I couldn't stop fussing with each other about whose turn it was to wash the windows or to feed the dog or to clean the kitchen. We fought and we frowned and we made silent promises to never speak to each other ever again. My grandmother said, lift your arms, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and stop being so mean about everything. Somebody somewhere at some point was just as mad as you are now. So we did. And as the soft wind took us over the city, past the windows of kids who hadn't yet learned to fly, my brother and I reached for each other's hand, flying and diving and laughing, and leaving all of that mad far behind us. That was the autumn our rooms felt too big and lonely, with only us in them and the darkness coming on so fast. But while we hugged ourselves against the all too quiet of it all, we remembered that we didn't have to be stuck anywhere anymore. My grandmother had learned to fly from the people who came before. They were aunts and uncles and cousins who were brought here on huge ships, their wrists and ankles cuffed in iron. But my grandmother said, nobody can ever cuff your beautiful and brilliant mind. So our people learned to fly, she said. They dreamed a thing and made it happen, closed their eyes and flew away home. Lift your arms, my grandmother said, and close your eyes. And remember, somebody, somewhere, at some point, had to figure out how they could fly. That was the winter we moved away from the building and the block and the friends that we'd always known. Ever have to move somewhere? People move? Yeah. We moved to a street where the kids looked at us funny and didn't even answer when we asked them if they wanted to play. It's okay, I said to my brother. Somebody somewhere at some point had to figure out they were ready for any new thing coming their way. So what do you think they're going to do? Fly. like the people who came before us, we lifted our arms even higher, closed our eyes even tighter, breathed in even deeper, and flew the way we'd always known how to, free as the aunties and uncles and cousins who'd come before us, free as our beautiful and brilliant minds. For a long time, the kids on the ground watched, and then, one by one, they lifted their arms. One by one, they too learned to fly. So, now it's time for you to fly away to your religious exploration in the care building.
In a moment, we'll share a meditation on the delight of love. To prepare us, we'd like to share a beautiful song in Hawaiian, which can be translated, "Love is like a cleansing dew.
But before
Love
we do
heals."
that, we have one more piece. Just the holding in our hearts of what is coming. It's okay. As we often do, we take a moment today to hold in our hearts those in our community and beyond who are experiencing joy and also struggle and sorrow at this time. We celebrate in our country, among those working to create a more just life for many, is Sheena Mead working on the Clean Slate Initiative, helping many who in their past had an arrest or conviction on their record to move through bureaucracy and clear their record, allowing them to more reasonably find housing and employment. We give thanks for people in our community doing this good work to support life and equality for all people. Among the challenges and sorrows in the world, we hold in our hearts continuing wars happening across the world, and in this country, continued legal battles to try and secure rights for all people. In our personal community, I especially lift up today those who are entering into challenging or frightening situations this week, including difficult changes and surgeries. Also, we hold those who have received painful news and their families as they grieve, cope, and begin to find new ways forward. For all these sorrows and joys, and for all that is left unsaid, let us pause for a moment of silence. Thank you for your care, your compassion. And now.
Hello.
In our precious human life, love is the ultimate delight. We would not even be here. We wouldn't have survived infancy if someone hadn't loved us. When we see or imagine a place, a person, a thing that we love, our brains are flooded with the chemicals of well-being, which reduce stress, relieve pain, and stimulate contentment. So we start our journey to love's pure land within by just relaxing into our seat, feeling the earth under us, feeling our breath, eyes closed or a soft gaze. We imagine a beautiful place in nature, perhaps some place we've been that we love, perhaps some place that just exists in this moment in our thoughts. It's a beautiful sunny day. There's a gentle breeze and a brilliant blue sky with a few wispy clouds. We decide to relax and find a comfortable spot to lie down and look up overhead. We breathe a sigh of contentment and appreciation. As we look up into the sky, we see faces begin to appear, smiling faces with shining eyes, faces we recognize, faces of those who love us, some who loved us since before we were born. We bask in this outpouring of love, breathing in the balm of love to every part of our body, every part of our being. And now we see new faces that appear, faces of those that we love, who we've ever loved, faces also shining down on us with love. We take in this love exchanged with these new faces, breathing another sigh of contentment and appreciation. And now we see a few new faces that we don't recognize, still beaming with love, with shining eyes. These are the faces of those that we will love, beings we will love in our future. We breathe in all this love into every part of our being, into all our relationships, into all our life. This love, this delight. And now we return to this space, to this moment, grateful to be alive and to be accompanied by so much love.
The stresses and travails of the world will always try to claim our time and attention. But if we want to stay functional, we need to attend also to our own well-being, and that means being able to invite delight into our lives on a regular basis. One of the clearest paths is through creativity. Here are some reflections on that path. From Bill Moyers,
creativity is piercing the mundane to find the marvelous.
From Tori T. Asai, creativity is nothing but a mind set free.
From J.M.W. Turner, it is only when we are no longer fearful that we begin to create.
And from Victor Pinchuk, art, freedom, and creativity will change society faster than politics.
When I was in my 20s and in despair about the state of the world, I was walking through a museum one day, and I came upon a glass case displaying a large, beautiful, incredibly intricate piece of lace. And I had the thought, that's a good reason to save the humans. No other being can do that. Since that time, I have kept a kind of internal list of why humans should continue to survive, even considering the devastation we have wrought on the earth and each other and our fellow creatures. My list is mostly filled with the products of creativity. It is one of the easiest avenues into delight. Visiting a museum, a craft show, an art gallery, even a shop, or attending a concert, a play, a film, or a dance performance. Eating an especially delicious and interesting meal, reading a good book. All of the entertainments that we humans enjoy are the result of someone's creativity. The buildings we live in, the cars we drive, the gardens we tend, the technology we use, all involve the creative process. We all have expressed our creativity in some way. Sometimes we labor over it. Sometimes it feels like it is just downloaded into us. Sometimes it's the result of a collaborative process, and it emerges through conversation and trial and error and laughter. The song Synergy that we sang for the prelude was partly downloaded to me and partly a collaboration with Jules Song. The title is an acronym for Say Yes Now, Everything Real Greets You, which is also the very first line, and is based on the fact that if you argue with reality, you will lose 100% of the time. So you may as well say yes to whatever is present, and say yes to your own response to it, and choose an empowering response. For our emotional lives can be a creative response to the world. We can choose how to perceive reality and what stories to tell ourselves about it. We can be the hero of our own story on a hero's journey that involves trials and tribulations and resilience and courage and kindness. We make up the meaning of our lives, so why not make up a good meaning? A journey filled with hope and service. Creativity is the basis of our current and future civilization. Our creative gifts to the world will help to shape it for the next generations. So don't hold back. Your gifts are needed.
Nature is another source of delight, awe, and even enchantment. Catherine May is the author of Enchantment, Reawakening Wonder in an Exhausted Age, and she writes this about finding awe in nature. I've tended to see it as an unnecessary decoration on the edge of experience that I can safely afford to ignore most of the time. I no longer think that's true. Instead, I think that those vulnerable, ground-shifting encounters like awe, wonder, fascination, and mystery are crucial to our survival. The poet Mary Oliver is a master of attuning to nature and bringing her readers into the delights that she discovers there. This poem, entitled My Work is Loving the World, says it so well. My work is loving the world. Here the sunflowers, there the hummingbird, equal seekers of sweetness. Here the quickening yeast, there the blue plums. Here the clam deep in the speckled sand. Are my boots old? Is my coat torn? Am I no longer young and still not half perfect? Let me keep my mind on what matters, which is my work, which is mostly standing still and learning to be astonished. The phoebe, the delphinium, the sheep in the pasture, which is mostly rejoicing since all ingredients are here, which is gratitude, to be given a mind and a heart and these body clothes, a mouth with which to give shouts of joy to the moth and the wren, to the sleepy dug-up clam, telling them all over and over how it is that we live forever. My work is mostly standing still and learning to be astonished. Learning to be astonished. The topic of this service is choosing delight. Choosing to focus on reasons to be delighted or astonished is essential for us to survive and thrive as human beings. Maya Angelou wrote, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty." So you may know something about the changes that the caterpillar goes through. They've been described here at ERUUF at least once in the last couple of months. But let me just summarize it for you. The caterpillar encloses itself in a chrysalis, and then it dissolves into what scientists call goop. In this goop, there are imaginal cells, which at first operate as single-celled organisms and are actually seen as threats and attacked by the caterpillar's immune system. Think about that. Swimming around alone with no awareness of any like-minded beings near you, and being attacked by beings that see you as a threat. It would be easy to choose despair and helplessness, right? But the imaginal cells choose to search out other imaginal cells. So here's what I like to imagine. Each imaginal cell swims around whispering, "Butterfly." And when it encounters another cell also whispering, "Butterfly," they join together, and together they keep saying, "Butterfly, butterfly," until eventually they have the critical mass to create a butterfly. And what's more delightful than that? So now Jewel Song is going to sing a song that celebrates the wonder and delight that we experienced in seeing the migration of the cloudless sulfur butterfly. Yellow and gold, winging above, spiraling dance, singing of love, wandering in the soft and hazy skies, on your journey by the sea. Your sacred dance inspires me. I am entranced by what I see. Lovely cloudless sulfur butterflies, sing your song of love for me. Summoned to flight by nature's hand, wending your way to a new land. Each one alone, each one apart, moving as one great heart. Please sing for me, so I can hear your divine song, joyful and clear. Each of us is like a butterfly, traveling toward divinity, summoned to flight by nature's hand, wending our way to a new land. Each one alone, each one apart, moving as one great heart. Yellow and gold, winging above, spiraling dance, singing of love. Each of us is like a butterfly, traveling toward divinity. Each of us is like a butterfly, traveling toward divinity.
I want to speak about the delight of community, the delight of singing a heartfelt song together, the joy I feel when there is collective victory for a common cause, holding a friend's hand when they need it, feeling trust with my chalice circle, feeling welcome, valued, and appreciated. These things bring me joy. And sharing joy with others seems to magnify its power. People are social animals, and we can find joy in groups, small and large. I have felt this joy at Susi and at other festivals. But even in hard times, perhaps especially in hard times, being in community can bring the relief of joy. Most recently, I felt the blessing of community by spending a week together with 47 people on our pilgrimage to Montgomery, Alabama. Singing together, breaking bread together, and sharing lots of delicious Southern food brought moments of joy and delight. We also faced tragic and horrifying truths together about racial terror in America, while at the same time marveling at the strength and resilience of the Black community and some allies that stood the course for change. On the 11-hour bus trip, we watched a movie called Just Mercy about how Brian Stevenson went to Alabama to defend people on death row, and he started the Equal Justice Initiative. When the man he defended got released from prison after 30 years of struggle, I felt joy and overwhelming gratitude for the community of fighters that never gave up. It was like a miracle. A phrase I learned at the Equal Justice Initiative is to always have hope, because hopelessness is the enemy of justice. And where do I find hope, even find joy in dark times? In community. I'd like to share a quote by Audre Lorde. The sharing of joy, whether physical, emotional, psychic, or intellectual, forms a bridge between the sharers, which can be their basis for understanding much more of what is not shared between them and lessens the threat of their difference. And so, sharing joy can create and strengthen community, as well as nourish and refresh each person in it.
Thank you, Susan. Beautiful. So I would like to share the delight of small moments. I'd like to read a blog post that was written by Mary Elizabeth Adams, and it's called Seeking Out Small Delights in Your Everyday. To counter hopelessness, it can help to uncover small, everyday occurrences that you deem delightful. It sounds ridiculously simple, and yet these small delights can bring instant relief as well as growth through a period of drought. We often let joyful, ordinary moments escape acknowledgement, but it's precisely the smallest, most mundane experiences that deserve our attention. Because if we stop to consider them, we'll begin to notice the deep, transcendental pleasures that they can offer. What are these little delights? Here are just a few examples. Inhaling the smell of a freshly brewed cup of coffee in the morning. How many people like that one? Listening to each individual bird's song at dusk. Hearing one of your favorite songs over the loudspeakers while you're shopping for groceries. Connecting with a perfect stranger over a shared split-second experience. The list of these unexceptional yet immensely pleasurable moments is truly endless. But it does take a bit of intention on our part to find them. You see, delight is not just some happy accident, but a choice we make. We choose to seek out and acknowledge these little miracles. In fact, delight may require more rigor and labor than misery. In what's known as our natural negativity bias, we as humans tend to gravitate toward the negative. This has had survival value for us for a long time. This tendency means that negative experiences imprint more easily and linger longer than the positive ones. Therefore, it takes more effort than one might expect to experience delight. But it's through these observations that joy flows abundant. To be clear, being delightful is not the same as being grateful. Often the two are used interchangeably, but it's important to note the difference. Gratitude is a readiness to show appreciation or the act of being thankful. Delight is an absolute and full engagement of the senses. To be grateful requires thought. To be delighted requires only an innate sense of pleasure. The next time you walk from one place to another, practice looking and listening without thinking. Become aware of being. Allowing yourself to be still and feel the connection to something you recognize as beautiful beyond the self brings about these delightful sensations. Attuning to and reflecting on delightful moments every day can help rewire your brain. Our lens through which we see the world can become more hopeful and optimistic. To increase delight exponentially, share it with others. Getting to know others over small, often overlooked sources of joy can deepen relationships and spark further wonderment. When you start to really train your gaze to seek out magic in the mundane, the more delight you may find.
Sometimes we take the delight in the unexpected. Even when the expected is on the screen, the unexpected of the stand, having its own opinion. We weave the fabric of beloved community when we draw our circle ever wider and commit ourselves to offering what we can through our time, our talent, and our treasure as we cultivate hearts of generosity toward the upliftment of our mission, our vision, and our work in the world. So it is the time for the offering, and I will tell you, the greeters will come forward in a moment to pass their plates. And we also have these handy-dandy little cards in your pews if you would like to give digitally. So this is also an option for you. So another option, as the greeters are coming forward, is that you could go to ERUUF.org on your device and hit the Give Now button and follow the instructions there. At this time, Jewel Song will now provide us some music for our offertory.
Song called Heart Smile. It's probably the only purely happy song I have ever written.
Half moon playing hide and seek among the clouds. Ocean waves caressing, lifting, tumbling me around. Tingles of exhilaration, pinball toe to crown, and I feel a heart smile coming on. Regaled with tales of daring, of mystery and wonder, flown far away and long ago on the echoes of your song. Feather touch and deep embrace quicken all my senses, and I feel a heart smile growing strong. Heart smile, what is this new feeling? Heart smile, makes me laugh out loud. Heart smile, sure has got me reeling. My smiling heart is lighter than a cloud. Suddenly the weary world turns to myth and magic. A luminescent nature sprite alights to kiss your hand. I see the dance of galaxies unfolding through the ages. I hear the drums and singing of a distant caravan. My heart smiles, thrown a lasso right around the moon. I'm spinning past Andromeda, but I'll be back real soon. My heart smiles, taking me through castles in the sea. I'm dancing with the mermaids now, so don't wait up for me. Heart smile, what is this new feeling? Heart smile, makes me laugh out loud. Heart smile, sure has got me reeling. My smiling heart is lighter than a cloud. Gradually my heart smile seems to fill up all creation, expanding and evolving in a shining web of light. Past and future disappear in shimmering vibration. There is only this, a heart smile released in soaring flight. My heart smiles, thrown a lasso right around the moon. I'm spinning past Andromeda, but I'll be back real soon. My heart smiles, taking me through castles in the sea. We're dancing with the mermaids now. Save a dance for me. Heart smile, what is
Thank you for the lovely music. And thank you for your love, your time, and your contributions to this community that you bring forward today and every day. Thank you for being here and being a part of ERUUF.
In body or spirit, please rise in body or spirit, and join me in singing Taste and See, which is on page 147 of the Earth and Spirit Songbook. Oh, taste, taste and see, how good is the fruit that falls from the tree. Oh, taste, taste and see, how good is the fruit of the garden. Taste the sun stored in the skin, flavor of fire and of passion. Taste the stars that dwell in the core, seeds of our joy and compassion. Oh, taste, taste and see, how good is the fruit that falls from the tree. Oh, taste, taste and see, how good is the fruit of the garden. Taste the rain soaked through the flesh, it lingers so sweet on the tongue. Taste the earth, the body of life, dark and rich and strong. Oh, taste, taste and see, how good is the fruit that falls from the tree. Oh, taste, taste and see, how good is the fruit of the garden.
And now it is time for our closing words, where we release the directions. Please rise. I see you are already on your feet. So after we thank all of the directions, there will be a postlude if you would like to stay and hear one more song by Jules' song. Thank you for your beautiful music. So please face east. Thank spirits of the east. Thank you for joining us on this day. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be. Blessed be. And spirits of south, thank you for joining us on this day. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be. Blessed be. And spirits of west, thank you for joining us on this day. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be. Blessed be. And spirits of north, thank you for joining us on this day. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be. Blessed be. And spirit of center, thank you for joining us on this day. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be. Blessed be. The circle is open but unbroken. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. And now, hopefully.
Oh
You are the love that moves the stars. You are the song that changes everything. You are the love that moves the stars. Your time is now, the season of the heart. You are the love that moves the stars. You are the song that changes everything. You are the love that moves the stars. Your time is now, the season of the heart. You are the magic. Your time is now. You are the magic breaking through from another world. We are the people. Our time is now. We are the people walking through to another world. We are the love that moves the world. We are the song that changes everything. We are the love that moves the world. Our time is now, the season of the heart. We are the love that moves the world. We are the love that changes the world. We are the song that changes everything. We are the love that changes everything. We are the song that changes everything. We are the love that moves. 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 We are the love that moves the world. That moves the world. Thank you.